I've become fascinated with the demise of modern culture ever since I first heard about NFTs last fall. Web3, the metaverse, or whatever Star Trek level piece of technobabble you want to use as a buzzword to describe this age of the internet that feels like there's a thorough disconnect between reality and how corporations seem to think we want to consume cyberspace in the not too distant future. While the crypto bros would tell you, you just don't get it. They're a cult-like culture bent on pre-Grand Nagus ROM levels of Wild West capitalism. In general, people that have gambling addictions so deep they're unwilling to acknowledge the flaws in the new order this few percent of the population seems to think they want. Tomorrow, Star Trek.xyz will start selling 20,000 NFTs at $250 apiece. These little pictures are procedurally generated by a computer. And for now, that's it. You buy it, you look at it. With the hope, I mean promise, that it's going to be part of some kind of game down the road that will allow you to earn stuff. By stuff, I mean more NFTs! As you collect a crew, somehow. Maybe, down the road, in the next season. Since for now, there are only a certain amount available, it seems like for someone who wants to play a game with a 16-bit icon for some reason in the future, they'll have to buy a ship from someone that already has one. Here's where everything gets even murkier. Some outlets have reported this as a pay-to-earn game, which seems to be true, but only for Paramount tickets, that can only earn you more NFTs. So you're buying a little picture to play a simple game that's really gambling at a chance to get more NFTs. But I mean, like Pogs, they'll never go out of style. Or, unlike the Pogs I still have somewhere in a box, they may not be around in a few years. Other than the right-click save as that you or anyone can do to your Starship Pixel Prize. Why? It appears it will be written forever or till the obsolescence of the Ethereum blockchain. If you don't know how blockchains and crypto work, I've got 2 links to long but seriously interesting videos on the topics of cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and the general idea of the new internet. Many of these NFT companies have been found to be outright frauds, promising something more than an overpriced icon, never delivering, and in some cases the artwork you bought isn't even around anymore. With the rise of crypto, big companies like Paramount have taken notice. I'd like to think that this one will actually materialize with major contracts like Paramount. It sounds like it's going to be a more boring and costly version of Star Trek Online. What disturbs me is the lack of transparency in the license agreement, which doesn't actually solidify which blockchain it's actually going on. Just one possible one mentioned being Ethereum. It doesn't say anything about age or if there will be a way to get actual cash for your ship in the future, since it's supposedly a limited commodity. There's a ton of things that just aren't spelled out clearly, even in a document whose purpose it is in way too many words to spell it out. What worries me is with this Paramount license, this same NFT company, Recur, will be doing Nickelodeon NFTs soon. This raises a lot of questions about introducing kids to gambling and what's at the end of the day probably a weird scam that somehow got the seal of approval from Paramount. With the backlash so far, I really hope the execs hear how colossal of a mistake this is all around. Especially for a franchise like Star Trek, whose look at a hope in a future where money is just a tool to get the extra things you desire because your day-to-day needs are taken care of. The problem is, there's a lot of people today whose needs are not being taken care of. We've got one major world power causing death and destruction in Europe, and Star Trek wants to sell us little pictures that are probably some kind of grift? Are you kidding me?